everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. I'm Gordon Deal. Temperatures are getting warmer. It must be baseball season. That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to localize it. Minor League Baseball in New Jersey and the wildly successful happening in Bridgewater, the Somerset Patriots. With us today is Steve Kalafer, who is chairman of the Somerset Patriots, and Rich Neitman, who is the director of public relations for the Somerset Patriots, based out of Bridgewater, New Jersey. And this has been an absolutely wild success so far. Third season. Steve, tell us a little bit about how things have gone so far.
It's actually our second season in the ballpark, third season because we played the first one on the road, but it has been very successful. We're in the top 10 percentile of attendance per game in all of minor league baseball. Our fans love it to go out there and watch the families enjoying what I call a simple pleasure. On that level, it's successful. Attendance level, it's successful. And we came back as the second half champions in the league. So on that level, we were successful too.
And you're just a little proud of that.
Very proud of it.
Tell me why you ever got involved.
Love baseball. Loved the idea of bringing minor league baseball to Somerset County and the Middlesex County area. It's a dream come true, and I'll tell you what, every day it's a happening at the ballpark, and it's just a lot of pleasure to be there.
Rich, talk about the ballpark itself. Based in Bridgewater, capacity about a little more than 6,000?
6,360. Not a bad seat in the house. It's a very intimate, very warm kind of an atmosphere. When we were designing it and building it, we expected great things, and I think that when we opened it up, we got a lot more than we had ever expected. It's just a wonderful place to spend an evening.
Speaking of spending an evening, on a recent game, I thought it very interesting. I thought this Somerset ballpark, a microcosm of New Jersey. If you look out the right field fence, you can see the New Jersey Transit train line, the Raritan Valley line. And if you look out beyond the left field wall, you can see Route 287 and the car zooming by there. Great location, just off the highway. Was that part of the planning, that it be easy access?
Very important that it be easy access. People can come at the last minute to the ballpark. It's not, and Yankee Stadium's a great venue, and Shea is as well. But people can decide at 4:30 in the afternoon, or even 5 or 6 o'clock, would you like to go to a ball game tonight? When we're at capacity crowds, it takes 15 minutes to empty out the ballpark. The location is great, the access is great, and it is affordable family entertainment that you can get there at a moment's notice.
Why is that niche there? Why has Somerset been successful? Were people dying for baseball that was more affordable? I mean, was that what you saw as this opportunity?
Baseball is the nucleus of why people come there. But when they get there, not only is the baseball important, it's the experience of having fun. At the end of each inning, we have something going on all night long in that ballpark, in the concourse. It's just a fun place to go to. Our competition really is the movie theater. The ticket prices are the same, the concession prices are the same. And during the summer, for 70 nights during the summer, people are enjoying themselves at the Somerset ballpark. And it's just the happening place.
So you don't have to, one, make the trip to Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium or Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia and be intimidated by the possibility of spending $150, maybe more, to take your family.
We have a $5 ticket. It's called the Turf Club. You spread out a blanket with your family. We have concession prices that are like the movie theaters. Our top ticket is $8.50, and you can touch the field. The bowl is accessible. Rich likes to say there's not a bad seat in the house. I have a reverse of that. Every seat is a great seat.
You mentioned before that you can decide at 4:30 that you want to go to a game. What does that mean in terms of ticket availability?
I mean, the best we have done on a given night, we've put over 7,000 people in that ballpark. Those have been extraordinary nights. But 6,360 seats. With the Turf Club, we have some flexibility. There are always seats available. We've got a great base of season seats, and our pre-sale always allows walk-ups, and we have a lot of it. I mean, a lot of people decide at the last minute to come to a ball game on a nice warm evening. You know, you can take your family to the movies and sit in a dark room for 2.5 hours and not talk to anybody, or you can come to the ballpark and you know, interact. I spent last season in the press box, every game in the press box, overlooking the entire seating bowl, and it's a constant activity of people running into people they haven't seen in years, and it's a great place to be.
We've gotten great support in the East Brunswick area. We have fans that come on over. It takes, what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes when there's maybe a little bit of traffic, but it's just so accessible. Gordy, what also has happened, a lot of groups are coming, the Boy Scouts, the churches, the synagogues, the women's clubs. They get together, a group of 20 people or even 1,200 people. We can take up to 2,000 in groups coming out there. This past homestand, we had the DARE program there, 1,200 students with their parents enjoying the ballpark, and the grins on their faces. I don't even know if they know who won the game. They just had a good time.
That was part of a separate point I was going to make in terms of the family atmosphere. But I will follow up a point you made about there's always something going on. I was afraid to leave my seat to go get a hot dog and a soda because once the players leave the field, there's somebody coming, there's more entertainment coming on the field. But the most indicative thing I thought about how family-oriented the park was is that after, I forget which inning, but there were 4 youngsters, the oldest probably being 10 or 11, who were standing on top of the visiting team dugout. It happened to be their birthday that night. Their names flash on the scoreboard, and the whole stadium is singing happy birthday to these 4 kids.
Right.
Part of the appeal, part of the design, the overall game plan?
It's part of making people part of what we offer. We want to bring them in. We want them to be part of the Somerset Patriots.
In terms of the league itself, Somerset Patriots are part of an independent league, or independent status. Talk about what that means for a person maybe not so familiar with minor league baseball.
It's the Atlantic League, it's independent. There's 2 types of leagues, independent and affiliated. The affiliated teams are controlled by Major League Baseball. The team owners have no say at all on what players play on the field, how long they stay, or what's going to take place. Independent, we get to select from all of baseball, the free agents, the 6-year free agents, the players that have played in the major leagues who want another opportunity. So it's really very, very exciting. But the bottom line is, the brand of baseball, for us, it's the Somerset Patriots. People don't really care who you're affiliated with. They care about what happens that evening in that ballpark with their families. They want to know if the hot dogs are hot, if the sodas are cold, what took place with baseball buddies like those 3 children. That's what they care about, and we provide that.
And now, based on that, is your credibility as a ball club determined on players you might be able to bring in or players you can turn out and say to some other major league clubs, hey, look who we've got this week, look who's playing well for us?
We had at the ballpark this past week 8 major league teams scouting our players. Between last year and the beginning of this year, we sent 7 of our players who performed well with us to major league organizations to go back into the system to play baseball. That's the goal, to move our players along. Example, Louis Lopez, our all-star first baseman, played with us last year, played with us this year. He just got signed by the Japan major leagues. He's going to make a significant amount of money because he played in the Atlantic League. We have a player that went right to the Texas Rangers 2 years ago, hit a home run in the playoffs. So the quality of baseball is without question excellent. But it's just fun also to see some of the old names. Not that they're old in years. I guess it's kind of like dog years. If you're a ball player and you're 28 years old, you're considered old. Right. But we have some great names there, some great players, and we're just happy to have them.
The game I happened to watch, Nashua was in town, Pete Incaviglia, who hit some really long home runs for Texas Rangers, Philadelphia Phillies, all through the 90s. He steps up to the plate for Nashua Pride.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting, Gordy, is he hit so many home runs in batting practice that I asked him to please leave the field. We were losing those baseballs.
That, or he was subject to additional charges after the game. Right. Talk about some of the names maybe that people might recognize that are currently in the Atlantic League.
I guess Jose Lind is playing second base for Bridgeport, I believe, this year. He had a long career in the major leagues.
The Pirates.
A successful career in the major leagues. On our team, one of our relief pitchers, John Briscoe, has 100 appearances in the major leagues for Oakland. They're throughout the league. We had Ruben Sierra playing with us for about a season and a half. He decided to start this year in the Mexican League, but that only lasted a couple of weeks, and he's back with the Texas Rangers now. So there's good quality players, and the thing that you find out is when these guys come to our league, they kind of have a different attitude. They're a lot more willing to interact with the fans, signing autographs, talking to kids, just having a good time with the fans before and before the during batting practice and before the game. So it adds a little bit to the experience.
Talk about some of the other teams in the league. What the daily routine might be for a player who is on the roster for the Somerset Patriots. Where are you traveling to? How are you traveling? We always hear the rumors about these long bus trips for some minor league teams.
Those rumors are correct.
Whether it be in the Carolinas, or the Florida League, out in the Midwest. What's it like for a typical player on the
Last
Patriots?
homestand, we finished up, took them right up to Nashua, New Hampshire. That's quite a little bus trip. Bridgeport, Connecticut, Aberdeen, Maryland. Cal Ripken just joined the league. He purchased the Aberdeen franchise. He owns that team. He's the principal owner. Playing in a temporary facility this year, opens up in a brand new Cal Ripken ballpark next year. Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, Atlantic City, Newark. So it's quite a traveling league. We go as far north, as I mentioned, as Nashua, as far south as Aberdeen, Maryland. There's 8 teams now. Ultimately, we will be at 12 teams by the year 2004. And communities all along the Northeast are trying very hard to join the Atlantic League. Mayors, freeholders have visited the Somerset ballpark. They look at it, they see the fans, their constituents, they see their happiness, and they say, we want one of these.
In getting back to the players, the bus trips, which are a lot different than the major leagues, obviously. But talk about what a guy can make. How do you balance, say, bringing a former big name in the major leagues like a Pete Incaviglia or a Ruben Sierra, as you mentioned? How do you balance, say, an 18-year-old kid who's just signed out of high school, wants to get his feet wet in the league like the Atlantic League? How are these guys paid? Can you talk about?
They're paid, the maximum that a player can be paid in the Atlantic League is $3,000. So a month. So he's playing for the love of the game and for the hope of getting back to a major league organization. The rookie is happy to be there, to be playing in the same league as a Sparky Lyle managed team, a Butch Hobson managed team. So they're just happy to be there, to find out how far they can go.
Interesting.
And one point, that 18-year-old kid coming out of high school is hard-pressed to make a team in the Atlantic League. The caliber of balls is significantly higher than that. And one example right now, Bobby Hill, second shortstop for the Newark Bears, was a very high draft choice by the Chicago White Sox last year, opted not to sign with the White Sox, came to the Atlantic League, played for a year, similar to what J.D. Drew did a couple of years ago. So it's top quality, top caliber ball players, even in their first year in the league.
There's a good bit of minor league baseball suddenly in New Jersey, maybe, from Atlantic City to the Trenton Thunder, not to name all your potential competition, but I'm going to, the Somerset Patriots, Newark Bears, the New Jersey Jackals who play out of Montclair, and the Sussex Cardinals way up in North Jersey. Is there such thing as too much minor league baseball?
No, and I'll tell you why. As long as a ballpark and a team is placed in the proper demographic market, it's very much like a supermarket or a movie theater. There's only too many movie theaters or only too many supermarkets if you put them in the wrong place. Each one of the markets you mentioned can support a team as they can support the individual supermarkets or the movie theaters. If you start putting teams where maybe a community wants them, but just demographically can't support them, then you'll have too much baseball. There's more room for baseball in New Jersey. We're trying to give information to the Bergen County officials about bringing the Bergen Cliffhawks to Bergen County. It's a county with 800,000 people that can support a team. The demographics are there, the numbers are there, and the demand for baseball is there.
What is their status right now?
We're just providing them with information, trying to get them comfortable with the process. We're speaking to them. No decisions have been made. We're looking at potential sites and locations, and we're hoping that we can bring a team to Bergen County.
Talk about, finish up on the independent status of the league for a little bit. it is a misconception then for somebody to say that Somerset is hoping for an affiliation with a major league
We don't
club?
want an affiliation. There's no benefit to us. Our fans simply don't care. We will then lose the ability. Let me tell you how we feel about our players and their independent status. You can hit 50 home runs for us. If you don't sign an autograph for a child, if you don't make an appearance that we've committed you to go to with your schedule, you can't play for us. In an affiliated situation, the owner of the team can't even ask or insist that one of those players that are owned by the major league teams to do anything on behalf of the community. That's not to say that they won't.
Right.
But this is really a community team rather than just a division of a major corporation or a major league team.
So what happens now? Third year in the league. Well, that first year, 100
On the
games,
road, yes.
100 games on the road.
Yes.
First year in the stadium last year.
Yes.
Second year in the stadium this year. After year 3, what you thought it would be? Is it where you think you should be as an organization, and where does it go now?
Based on all of our projections, Gordy, it's exceeded all attendance projections, all revenue projections, and we thought we were very, very conservative. From a community standpoint, the support, the overwhelming love that this community has for this team was beyond any thought that I ever had. Organization, I'm very proud. We have a vice president, general manager who has a wonderful staff of people that operate this team on a daily basis. And in fact, he was named, Dave Gasaway, the executive of the year in the Atlantic League. So I'm really pleased on all bases of what's taking place here.
You mentioned his name before, but Sparky Lyle.
Sparky Lyle
Who's
is our
your
field manager.
The former Yankee great.
The fans love him. The kids love him. He comes and does all of the community interaction that we ask him to. Although he's a former Cy Young Award winner, a celebrity, he treats everybody the way they should be. He treats them like fans, and he treats them with respect, and the public just is taken to him.
Talk about some of the community involvements, maybe that the team is involved with. What do the players do?
Rich can probably answer that better because he's in charge of that.
We'll make appearances at schools. I mean, our mascot is probably the prime representative. Our mascot is everywhere, but we also we're working with schools. We've just developed a science and math teaching module based on the science and math of baseball. We had 25th grade kids in the ballpark the other day measuring home plate, measuring from the pitching mound to home plate, and finding the sweet spot on the bat, the physics aspect of things. So we've been working with a teacher in Franklin Park developing that, and we're going to move that around once we perfect it to all the schools in New Jersey that are contiguous to a baseball ballpark where the kids can go. We bring kids in for tours into the ballpark. Anywhere that people want us to be, that we can work into a schedule, we're there because we're part of the community.
How about, I don't know where there's room for it, but is there more promotional stuff that may go on? Do you have different ideas that you might be exploring next year in the off season, things like that? Are you planning to tinker with things?
We're always looking to stay fresh. Just because it was successful this year doesn't mean that we just keep going. We've made adaptive changes right throughout last season and this season, whether it be the games for the kids, the concessions. We upgraded our concessions, cut our concession lines, have more serving areas. We have more picnics, parties. We have special events. We're doubling the number of special events this year that we had last year. It's important to keep it fresh. You don't take anything for granted, whether it be in baseball or in my business, the car business. You have to stay fresh.
Why Bridgewater for the Somerset ballpark?
Perfect location, perfect demographics, the best demographics in all of minor league baseball. Right off of Route 287, right at the New Jersey Transit rail line. Everybody can get there in literally no time at all.
What kind of coordination did that take? Whether it be dealing with maybe the feds on building something near Interstate 287, whether it be dealing with New Jersey Transit or Amtrak with regards to the rail lines.
New Jersey Transit had been wonderful. They upgraded their station there. There was an existing station there. They upgraded it. It now looks like a little ballpark. The the station there. The Bridgewater Township did a great job in coordination. Somerset County, the freeholders, they really had the vision to see this through. They saw the importance of providing affordable family entertainment for the community. And they partnered with me on the baseball team. They were responsible for the ballpark, we the baseball team, and we formed a partnership which not only will provide all of the benefits, but on a fiscal basis. Very smart, very conservative. It's a revenue sharing situation, and they will make a significant profit over and above their interest and debt service this year and for years to come.
What about your media exposure?
Great.
Covering the games, carrying the games via broadcast.
We're on 2 radio stations. We have the Somerset Patriots radio network. We have 14 games on Cablevision. We're carried in the scores on many of the local stations. The media attention has been wonderful. Of course, having Sparky Lyle as the manager helped that a great deal.
And Butch Hobson, former Red Sox, who is
He's up in
with Nashua.
Right. We also, I mean, all of our games are broadcast on the radio. They're also all broadcast on the internet. So that's a big advantage for the players' families. You know, a player in Texas.
SomersetPatriots.com.
www.somersetpatriots.com.
Right. And you know, we have a beat reporter who covers all 140 games, which is kind of unheard of in minor league baseball. It's very, very rare that a newspaper will give a reporter his traveling orders to follow the team. So we have very good coverage, and people respond to that. People want to know how the Patriots are doing when they're away.
I'll ask this based on the analogy before when you said there's no, obviously, urgency or need to get an affiliation with a major league club. Major league clubs, anybody who's followed baseball knows that they rely heavily on TV contracts. Is that something you would like to see? Carried nightly, carried live, rebroadcasted games on TV?
Well, we like carrying the number that we have, the 14 games. To experience the specialness of the Somerset Patriots in the Somerset ballpark, you really have to be there. When you're sitting in that seat, smelling that fresh grass, smelling popcorn that's made right behind you, the hot dogs, watching the kids being gleeful and happy wearing their Patriots cap, that television doesn't capture that. You have to be there, and we want you there.
I did see something at the park that I had not seen before, and I've been to minor league games in Las Vegas, Portland, Oregon, Indianapolis, but one of the vendors came down with a bat that one of the players had used. I don't know if it was became an unlucky bat for one of the players, or it was just, okay, it's time to pull one out of the rack and offer it to the fans. I had never even seen that before. Do you know I guess the basis behind even a promotion like that?
I don't know what that specific instance was, but Saturday night, I believe, was shirt off your back night at the ballpark, which we have purchased new road uniforms. So the players wore, even though we were home, they wore their road uniforms on Saturday night. During the game, people had an opportunity to fill out a slip of paper and put it in the hat. And on the field after the game,
they took the shirt off their back.
They pulled names, and fans. The player would take the shirt to the winning fan, autograph the shirt, and off it went. So we do whatever we can do to share with our fans.
Gordy, on that particular homestand, a Sunday, autograph books. Every child got an autograph book, and before the game, they went on the field, and every Patriot was out there to sign autographs for the fans. We had at one time, going through the lines, probably 700 kids with their autographs, going up to players in uniforms. At the end of the game, after the game was over, the kids are allowed to run the bases. This is on the equivalent of a major league field.
And even before the game, the kids running on the field, I think they stood there for the national anthem.
Yes, we have our baseball buddies. A team goes out every night with one of our, they're paired up with each team member. They go out there during the national anthem. So it's kind of funny because these big athletes, 6'4", and these 3 feet kids. It just is wonderful. It's priceless.
It's great to watch. And the kids love every minute of it. And I would be willing to bet that probably 99%, and that might be a low number, 99% don't even care what the score of the game is.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're just they're at a ball game. We have two 2 Sundays during the year where we have a kids clinic before the game, beginning at about 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock game. About 11 o'clock in the morning, kids can come in, players are on the field, about 6 or 7 stations around the field, and the ball players teach the kids how to play ball.
Great. Just a couple of minutes left. Get into a little bit about the Bergen team, the Bergen Cliff Hawks, and what news we might expect in the coming months. Spring 2001 is the planned start for them.
Well, that's
yet another minor league baseball.
It's always been a work in process, that date. But as I said earlier, we are trying to bring information to all the interested parties, the communities, so that they can be comfortable with the idea. You know, when we first started the Somerset project, the concerns were, just as they are in Bergen County, tremendous traffic. When they think ballpark, they think Giant Stadium. 15 minutes in reality to be able to empty the parking lot. We don't allow tailgating. We wouldn't allow that in Bergen County. It is just strictly family entertainment, and what we'd like to do is duplicate what we did in Somerset. The demographics are very similar. The ability to attract the fans is the same, and we'd like to see it happen in Bergen County, but again, we're just in the information stage, and we're going to be giving that information to the decision makers over the next several months.
All right. Steve Kalafer, Chairman of the Somerset Patriots, and Rich Neitman, Director of Public Relations, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And best of luck to the Patriots.
We'd like to invite everybody to the Jewel of the Atlantic League, the Somerset Ballpark.
And if you have not been to the Somerset Ballpark in Bridgewater, it is an experience you have to experience. Been there myself, and it is wonderful. It's minor league baseball at its best. It is completely family-oriented and hands down winner over the movies in my book any night of the week. Thanks again for coming in. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Talk. Thanks to the guys from the Somerset Patriots. I'm Gordon Deal. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk.